Well, good day, everybody. This is Chris, the Ancient Scholar. I hope this video finds you all doing well. It is a nice early Friday morning, and I'm here before the offices have opened. So I thought I'd do a quick video. In this particular video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Pixel 10, just do a follow-up, maybe an extended review of sorts. I mean, it's only been a couple months now. It came out about a few weeks before the iPhone 17, so it's certainly not going to be an exhaustive review, but still I want to do some follow-up just because, you know, I've had some issues with this phone, unfortunately. So this is going to be an addendum to the last video I did where I had some pretty substantial issues, and I know at least one of the comments on that video was maybe there was a warranty issue with the phone, and that is something that was discussed in the few conversations I've had with Google, but they ultimately recommended that I wait for another update and see how things go. And so I did. Shortly after, there was the October update, and then just recently, in the last couple of days, there was another November update. And then I believe the feature drop, like the big quarterly update, is going to be in December. So how are things with the phone now? Well, things have been markedly improved. I haven't had those major issues that I was having where the phone would lock up at one point in time in the middle of the night. The phone locked up, froze up, and hit all my emergency contacts, and started alarming and called 911, and it's just an absolute disaster. And since that, it's one of those things where you have such a bad experience that it's really hard to move forward. And so perhaps I am now in this position where I'm just being overly critical of the phone because that experience was so disruptive, to be quite honest. And so it's hard to tell you all if I'm being really fair to the phone just because of that. But I will say that by and large, the phone has been much more stable since that update. I haven't had any substantial issues, although, to be honest, I have not re-enabled the emergency functions in the phone. So I actually have the emergency function set turned off in the settings, and so this phone hypothetically is not capable of being activated. So if it detects a crash or a fall or something like that, or hit the button 5 times to contact help, all of that stuff is currently disabled. So I just don't quite trust the phone at this point. But with that in mind, after the last couple of updates, things are pretty good. The phone is smooth. It's working just fine. More or less, I haven't had any major issues. There are still some minor issues with some of the Google apps, of all things. YouTube, for example, I've had a lot of little stuttery kinds of things with YouTube where in a lot of cases, if I have a video and I hit the little option to make it full screen, it'll lock up or it won't work. And I don't know if that's the phone or there is an app update that's needed, but there are just minor things like that, little stutters in some of the applications. Nothing that can't be fixed by closing the app and going back into it. But, there's still just a lot of little minor things that kind of add up to make the experience perhaps less than optimal. As I understand, there are some video driver issues with the Pixel 10 series as a whole. Apparently, the drivers are were developed, that the current drivers that they're using for the video, the graphics and all that are not optimized for the new or contemporary version of Android, and apparently that is causing a lot of issues for some people. And that may be the proximate cause of a lot of the issues I'm having, because they do seem to be graphical in nature. And as far as I understand, there is a significant graphics driver update in the works, perhaps in December, that might completely change the experience with the phone. I don't know. That's just kind of what I've seen through my research. So perhaps I can follow up after the December update and the feature drop associated with that. I don't know. But as it stands, again, I just am not super enthralled with this phone, and it's kind of this once bitten, twice shy kind of situation. I fear that I just am going to have a hard time warming up to this phone after all the issues I've had. But, you know, when it works fine. It's smooth. I don't think the experience is markedly improved from the Pixel 9. I can't say enough good things about that Pixel 9. I absolutely love that phone, and I kind of regret getting rid of it. I know people have talked about the new Tensor chip in this, that it's a bit of a modest improvement. I haven't noticed any difference, right? I don't play games and stuff, so I wouldn't know. And you know, the Tensor chips really aren't optimized for that kind of stuff anyway. So there aren't a whole lot of, or really any significant advantages with this phone versus the Pixel 9. There really aren't. It's essentially the same phone, except the Pixel 9 was a lot better optimized, and I just didn't have all the issues that I'm having with this. That said, to end this on a positive note, that said, I really have warmed up to the camera on this phone. The ultra-wide camera is still a bit anemic in the hardware department. The pictures are okay, but right, you don't want to go pixel peeping. And certainly compared to something like the iPhone, even the base iPhone's ultra-wide camera, it's quite lacking. But you know, what is it? It's a 10 megapixel camera, right? And you know, it's using antiquated hardware, and you can only do so much with software and AI. That said, the main camera, pretty good. And the telephoto camera, was it a 10.5 megapixel telephoto camera? Really impressive. I'm actually very impressed with the telephoto capabilities of this camera. They are far better than the iPhone 17, the base iPhone 17. And I must say that I have a lot of good to say about that phone. This isn't a video about the iPhone 17, but the base iPhone 17 has been an amazing experience. It has been very well optimized. The iOS 26 is the most stable operating system that I've run on a mobile Apple product in years, 2-3 years, really the iPhone 12 mini, I think. There are, you know, little hiccups here and there, but it's really been a stable experience, very well optimized. I haven't had a whole lot of issues with it. And, you know, in the last few years, iOS has been a bit of a menace, really. Just, you know, all the little bugs and stuff, and the experience has been great. That said, the telephoto capabilities of the base iPhone 17 are basically non-existent. I know they talk about the Fusion camera. It's just a crop. It's just a fancy crop, and the telephoto quality on the iPhone is not great. I'm sure the pros are significantly better, but this telephoto on the Pixel 10 is markedly better than the iPhone 17. And if you're really into AI integration, there's no contest there as well. The AI, again, to be positive with this phone, is actually pretty good. It's great, actually, certainly compared to the iPhone. Even the iPhone 17, iOS 26, and all that. It's just Siri is almost worthless. Even simple things like speech to text is just terrible. Just terrible on Apple products in general, right? Not only the iPhone, but my Apple Watch. If I get a message, right, it's almost impossible to type on the little keyboard on your watch. So you hit the little dictation and you speak, and it's just terrible. It just simple words. It's just not great. It's just not great. And text to speech, translation, right? Overall AI integration, so much better on Pixel, so much better. It's actually embarrassing for Apple just how far behind they are. And as I understand, Apple's actually been working with Google, and there may be some kind of cross-platform integration that happens where kind of like a modified Gemini gets integrated into Apple, and I would be fine with that. I just don't think Apple has the time. They certainly don't have all the data that Google has, because Google, let's face it, they don't care about your privacy. Or in Apple, minimally, there's some minimal caring about your privacy. So Google just has all the data, and they can train their AI, and they're so far ahead at this point. I'm okay with Apple doing something to try to improve things. But that said, the overall experience with platform stability and actually, can I trust my phone to do what my phone's supposed to do and not do crazy things, the valence is certainly shifted solidly toward the iPhone at this point. I still use the Google Pixel. This is my primary work phone, but would I feel comfortable driving this without any other phone and activating all the safety and security settings? And no, not at this point, at least, not like the Pixel 9. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hate to be negative. I see that the Pixel sales are up significantly this year, even compared to last year. I mean, I'm glad to see that the Pixel is doing well. It's just I haven't had an optimal experience with the 10, and I think I got spoiled when it came to the Pixel 9 just because I had such a good experience with that phone. I was really hoping to have something similar to the Pixel 10, and it just hasn't materialized quite yet. So we'll see what the future holds. All right, everyone, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.